Endurance racing is one of the toughest challenges in motorsport, pushing man and machine to the limit. The Rolex 24 at Daytona will see competitors complete around 750 laps and cover over 2,500 miles. That's the same as driving coast to coast across the USA in a single day. And for one driver, the 2011 race would mark the opportunity of a lifetime.
It's absolutely unbelievable. Just mingling with the drivers, you can't see but standing just behind the camera. There's Juan Pablo Montoya and Frank Kitty's just in front. They're all here and you're part of it, and it's a really special feeling. And the testing and the build-up, it all boils down to this moment. So yeah, there's a real electric atmosphere in the air, and the start of the race is going to be very exciting.
The final weekend in January, it's race weekend. Showtime.
It's a fun way to start the season, and yeah, it's one you always want to win. They'll give you a nice watch for winning it too.
Yeah, it's a fun race. It's a hard race. You know, it's a good team effort. It's always fun to be here.
Apart from the sunshine, which is nice all year round, I think the relaxed atmosphere for me really suited me.
I enjoy coming to it. You know, it's a great way to kick off our season, especially in our team, because it's with all our teammates across, you know, NASCAR, IndyCar, and Grand Am. So it's nice to catch up.
Yeah, I've raced this race a couple of times. Finished first and second in those 2 times, but that's nearly a quarter of a century ago.
Daytona 24, I mean, you know, it's a proper race. Start the racing season off, and maybe I'll do a few more later in the year.
Tonight we're at the Grand Marshal dinner, which is going to be presented by Andy Green, who's the world's fastest man. So it's going to be an opportunity to hopefully meet Andy, and lots of the other drivers from the Rolex 24 Hour are going to be here this evening as well. So the excitement continues, as well as when we're at the circuit and on track in the evenings as well. So looking forward to a nice evening.
Holding the land speed record and coming here to the home of the land speed record, the first place where Brits did 200 miles an hour on the Daytona beach, where Malcolm Campbell did 300 miles an hour here. Very, very special. And of course to come to the world famous Daytona International Speedway. An amazing event, and of course I get to say, drivers, start your engines.
The sun is at its zenith and the tension is almost unbearable as they wait for the most famous words in motor racing.
Drivers, start your engines.
Quad marker in the TRT Porsche GT3.
It's 3:30 on Saturday afternoon and the field is released. The race is on.
Tony Miller puts the green flag in the air, and we're under, gets the jump on Max Angelelli. Scott Pruitt and Ryan Dial scrambling for third and fourth. The hard left into the infield road course for the first time.
From here, teams race twice around the clock before we discover who is the winner of the Rolex 24. And it's clear from the outset, this is going to be a 24-hour sprint race battle. Brian Frizzell's in an early battle, squabbling over 10th place with Martin Brundle in the 23 United Autosports car. There's trouble for hot favourites Ganassi Racing. Scott Dixon's picked up a puncture in their 02 car, and the 01 has also slipped away from the lead. They have got to make some gearbox changes. Nothing goes according to plan in endurance racing. The long night begins and the Action Express car takes the lead, with Bert Frizzell, Brian's brother, at the helm. Matt Bell's in a tight battle with the Starworks 2 car, but the car loses control at the hairpin and Matt has to take evasive action to avoid a collision. He's not alone in having to take to the scenery. Kevin Doran calls the car in and Ross scrambles to prepare for his first ever stint in the Daytona 24 Hours. Away from the distractions, Ross is setting good times in the car, battling hard with the 90 machine for 11th place on the high-speed Daytona banking. It's all going well for the Doran team, but then disaster strikes.
Came into the bus stop a little bit early on the first apex, caught quite a lot of curve on the second, and the front of the body as it dropped off the track just dug in and it ripped the nose off. It's a big disappointment. Anything can happen in these races.
There's quite a bit of damage there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of work. What have you had to do?
They got the front bulkheads bent back pretty good. We just kind of beat it down, put some aluminum arrow tape on it, replaced 2 mirrors, a mirror bucket, and luckily it didn't get a radiator, but tore up pretty good.
Is the car okay now?
Yeah, the car's mechanically fine. It's just bent really good.
Back behind the wheel, Ross charges on, attacking Alex Gurney and taking 29th place, 14th in the DPs, steadily moving forwards as others run into difficulties. As the crew grab a vital few moments rest, Ross puts in a strong stint. But by the time he comes in to hand over to teammate Henri Richard, he's suffering with a little bit of cramp. Henri hits some debris on the track, forcing an unscheduled stop to fix a loose water pipe. In his haste to make up time, he then flat spots a tyre. Under braking, the tyre explodes, ripping the front of the car apart. But just before the halfway mark, the team decide there's no option but to retire the car. It suffered too much damage to be able to safely continue.
It's just a shame. My first 24-hour race, and obviously the most important thing would have been finishing the race, but that's the way it goes.
The pole-sitting Flying Lizards team, a race that promised so much just doesn't work out and ends with an impromptu barbecue. Former Daytona winner Martin Brundle prepares to take the wheel of the 23 car for the final time in what's a great debut for the United Autosports team. It's an impressive effort. They're in contention for a podium all the way to the end, grabbing 4th position at the flag. But there's no holding back the Ganassi team. A jubilant 1-2 result, 0-1 from 0-2. As the celebrations begin, it's time to look towards next year and the Sunoco Challenge, and another driver getting the chance of a lifetime.
This is a long-term competition. It's a 3rd year. We've had 2 good winners, 2 good representatives for British motorsport to come to Florida. And this year we'll have the British GT Championship, the British Formula 3, and the British GT Endurance Championship will join, including the Silverstone 24 Hours. So we're very excited about that, and I'm sure that pro drivers and up-and-coming drivers in England will be extremely excited about their opportunity to race amongst the greatest drivers in the world.